Namaste. This is a tree that I received about 2 years ago, exactly, early July 2023. I didn't know so much about bonsai at that time, but I had probably been dabbling with bonsai 4 years at that time. So now it's starting my 7th year on bonsai, I think. I lose track of time. But this is a tree. I received it from um, someone who worked at a Japanese dinner and lunch set menu place. The woman's father was 90 years old and he had started this tree, or at least developed it for a very long time. He was in his 90s and in hospice care, I believe, at that time. And so the universe is a funny thing, right? So they were looking for the right person to give it to. And I happened to be just really getting into bonsai at that point. And this was in the middle of the pandemic, or I'm sorry, right after the pandemic is when I received it. But I started right before the pandemic. As you can see, it's a beautiful tree. I'm very, I'm self-taught in bonsai actually. And I think that's okay. I don't really think we need to apprentice with somebody. Oh, it helps. It might be more efficient. Um, but a lot of people are too obsessed with lineage or names, trying to make money or a brand, basically, especially in the West. Buy my bonsai mix, um, pay for my workshop, and I'll give you knowledge that for a certain amount of money. Go to my Patreon. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? There's just so many people that are attached to themselves, and they miss out on all the learning and the process and the journey that could be done all by themselves, by their own efforts. And I think that's something that, if there is anything worth sharing, because ultimately that's what I'm doing, what I want to show is we don't need anybody to give our power to. We can do things all by ourselves. All you need is patience and confidence, um, flexibility, understanding the dynamic process of everything, the interconnectedness of all things. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today a little. And also, what is bonsai, anyways? What's in a name? What's in a word? What's in a form? What I'm doing, I think some people would say, is not even bonsai. Because it's not. I don't use the wiring as most people do. I sometimes come over here and, I just use even the needles themselves to reposition, the branches themselves to reposition. So I don't even use wraparound wiring on the branches all the time. I do use a lot of guy wire, and most of the time just co-create with nature itself. Nature is the one that's ultimately the one that did this with my adjustments, I guess. So together, it's not like it was made in a vacuum. I think a lot of bonsai people are really just narcissistic and self-important and think, I did this. And it's not even just about bonsai, it's everything. I think too many people think they are separate from all the dependent parts, what the Buddhists would call dependent origination. There's just so much that is behind the scenes in showing or creating, letting something appear, interacting. That's all part of some interdependent or dependent origination of some sort. Like I said, I've been refining this for 2 full years, and so starting the third year now. I don't know, I think it would have been hard for other people to come up with something similar because they just had maybe their own ideas in mind of how it should be. And there were a lot of limitations. Um, the guy who started it originally, the 90-year-old, 95-ish, when he died, he made some choices that were a little questionable. I ended up rotating it a little bit to have a distinction between the lower Ichinoeda and then the second branch over here. And this is the Maenoeda. And the canopy is now really thick. I showed it earlier way up here, and there's almost some fractal patterns really. And I don't know if it's so easy to get to that, but here we are. I'd like to go more into it sometime, but it's just really hard. How do you enter? How do you access? How do you, I don't know, rhizomatically get into a space without sounding so pretentious or without being so structured and limited? But even through all the limitations and through the structure, we have some freedom and we have some creativity, some spaces to be free and have free will, perhaps, even through perfection and imperfection. I don't know if that made any sense, but there you go. Namaste.